Hello, this morning we're going to take a little sidebar and install WireShark. WireShark is a packet analyzing program. It's open source, it's free, doesn't cost anything, and it's probably one of the most used tools in network troubleshooting. You can analyze packets, you can do a lot of things. We're going to look at those things throughout this class. We'll use WireShark to a certain extent. Not as much as I would like, but frankly, we don't have enough time. So you can come back for the next section of the course, then we'll delve a little more deeply. But right now, we're just going to get familiar with it. So let's go ahead and go to the desktop. Currently, here we are at Google homepage. You can search for WireShark on Google, but I happen to know it's wireshark.org. And so I'm going to go ahead and just go there. And this is their website. I'm going to say download WireShark now. And we want the Intel installer. We don't want the portable. We want the Intel installer because it's a lot more stable. And I don't want to have to set up a flash drive. So, all right. So as you can see, it's being downloaded. It's only 75 megs, so it installs pretty quickly. Go ahead and click on the shortcut. You can also, in case you're curious, you can go to downloads, and that's where it's at. That's where, by default, Windows 10 and 11 both save things. So, all right, welcome to WireShark, and we're going to just basically do yes, next, and continue. We're not going to change really any of the defaults. We're going to agree. And we're not going to change anything. WireShark is the graphical user interface. That's the program we're going to use mostly. T-Shark is a command line version of the same program. If you are good with the command line and if you're familiar with the commands, then T-Shark is very easy to use, and it will do the same thing that WireShark does, only without the added resources being used on your computer. So we're going to leave this as default. The only thing we're going to change here is I'm going to add an icon to the desktop. This is specifically up to you. I'm not going to require that you add an icon to the desktop. It's just easier to find for me. The path we're going to leave at default. We're not going to change anything there. You do have to have either WinCap or NCAP. That is network packet capture. We're going to install NCAP, so make sure that is checked. If you don't install it, this program will not work like you expect it to, and you will not be able to complete the exercises. So make sure install NCAP 1.71 or whatever version you're seeing is there. We're not going to install USB packet capture. Basically what this does, this allows you to capture USB traffic like you can capture network traffic. We don't really care to do that. We're not going to use any USB network adapters here, so there's no point in it. So we're not going to worry about USB capture. We're just going to leave that one blank. And so now WireShark is installing. And this takes a little bit. It's a fairly involved program, and there's a lot of dependencies that have to be downloaded. So that's what it's doing right now, is it's downloading dependencies and installing the program. So we'll give this a minute, but WireShark is actually a very useful program. You can do a lot of packet analysis and network troubleshooting. You can determine what's being used on your network. You can kind of snoop in on what traffic is being sent, particularly when we look at HTML traffic or HTTP traffic, which is web traffic. You will see that you can see a lot of things. You can see passwords. A lot of times things will be sent in plain text that you would really rather not. So we agree once again to the license. Roll all the way down if you want to read that. Enjoy. It's a bunch of legalese. It says basically we're not responsible for anything, and you agree not to use this program in any way that would be detrimental to the network. So we agree to it. We're not going to restrict it to administrators only because not everybody's an administrator. We are going to not support 802.11 raw traffic because we're not going to use this for wireless adapters. You can do that if you choose on your network. And then We're not going to worry about an AP because we're not going to use any outside programs to access this. We don't have to have an API interface open. And there's that. So currently what we're installing right now is NCAP. That is the piece that makes WireShark work to be able to capture packets from the network. So it has to install a driver of its own, and it's done. So we'll go next. And since we didn't install USB cap, we don't have anything else to do. So we're going to call it good. And now WireShark is finishing up its installation. Should just be a few more seconds. And we're done. Okay, we don't, let's go ahead now. I don't want to reboot right now. You should not have to reboot. It may want us to. If it does, I'll cut the video feed and we'll start back up again when we come back. So let's see if it demands that we reboot. And it did not. How about that? All right. So what I did, I double-clicked on WireShark on my desktop, and now I'm looking at the program. What you see in this list are the various network adapters that I have. There's a loopback adapter, local area connectors, 10, 11, 12. I have several of those set up, a Wi-Fi connection. And the ones that actually have traffic are the ones that have these little graphs next to them. I'm not worried about the loopback because that's just internal. 127.0.0.1 is a loopback address to hit an internal server. But Ethernet 20, that's my network adapter. And as you can see, it has traffic on it. So we're going to go ahead and double click. All right, this is the traffic that is currently on my computer right now. This is what's happening right now. The protocols are here. These are the different, like there's UDP, ARP, these are different protocols. Basically what's happening is my computer's just being alive on the network. It's sending out messages, it's receiving messages, it's making itself known on the network. It's also, I've got a browser window open, so it's doing things down there. Occasionally you'll see Cisco come up in here. That's speaking to the switch that I'm connected to. So we know that what's going on is, what we're going to do first of all is we're going to apply a filter. And we're going to type it in here. And the filter that we're going to apply is HTTP. Oops, apparently we have to do that in lowercase though. All right, so we're going to look at HTTP traffic. All right, so this is all web traffic here. And basically we can kind of look and see what's going on as far as who my computer's talking to on the network. Now let's go down here and let's open up a browser window that we can see. Do that. Let's keep that closed and let's just move this down and move this up. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to go to grayson.edu. When I do that, what you'll see here are new traffic indicators, new packets. And if we open that, oh, there we go. Then what we will find out is that these are the packets that I just sent and that I just got back. What this is over here is this is a hexadecimal representation of the information. And so right now, basically, I'm looking at the Grayson website and looking at my, there's the, every time you see this 200 OK, that means that I've successfully opened a page. If I went to a page, let's see if we can do that. We're going to go to a page that does not exist on the Grayson website. So I know, I'm pretty sure, that there's not a Fred page on the Grayson website. So if I try to go there, I get a 404. And if I look over here, somewhere in there, I should see a 404 pop up. Interesting that I did not. It's interesting. Usually I would see a 404 pop up. Apparently it's not getting in where it needs to go. Oh well, does not particularly matter. What mattered? Oop. That's it. Nope. If I hit refresh on that, what happens? Darn. I would have sworn that would have been clever. I'm going to have to cut the back end of this video off and basically just all right, so there you have it. That is how you install WireShark, and that's how you open it. That's how you set up a filter, and that is how you examine packets. We'll go into detail on doing that. We'll use it to look at some network packets as it applies to us and as it applies to network troubleshooting. Let's go back and cut back. So that is how you open up WireShark. That is how you install it, and that is how you set up a filter. We will look at packets as we go along, particularly in this section, and hopefully we will see that WireShark is a very useful tool. It will allow you to examine packets for any protocol that you can think of. So hopefully, well, I guess we'll see. Anyway, go ahead and let's just start this over. All right, guys, there you have it. That's how you install WireShark, and that is how you can set up a filter. You're going to find out that it's very useful for network troubleshooting. You can examine packets. You can actually look at the contents of the packet. In fact, a lot of times you can see usernames and passwords and things like that that you would think Windows would encrypt, and in fact it does not. So we will look at some network troubleshooting a little bit later. But in the meantime, that's what we need to get done for this section. You need to be able to install WireShark, and you need to be able to open it up. Once you do have it installed correctly, then follow the instructions in the lab, and I will see you in class. Have a good day.